Good morning, students. Today we will have a poem, and the title of the poem is The Rain on the Roof, written by Coates Kinney. Okay? Yeah. Coates Kinney was an American lawyer, politician, journalist, and poet who wrote Rain on the Roof. Okay? Born on 24th November 1826, Penn and New York, United States. Died on 25th January 1904, Ohio, United States. Nationality American. Education Antioch College. Okay, this is a brief introduction about the poet, right? Now let us read the introduction. When the sky is covered with dark clouds and it starts raining, have you ever listened to the patter of soft rain on the roof? What thoughts flashed through your mind as you heard this melody of nature? Read the poem to find out what the poet dreamed of while listening to the rain. So children, you will have your own experience about rain, but the important thing is what the poet felt when it rained. Okay, so shall we begin? Yeah. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry fears and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain ahead. So children, here the poet is enjoying the rain when it falls on the roof of his small cottage. You know what a small cottage is? A small chamber means room. Okay, so he was lying on the bed and he was pressing the pillow and was listening to the patter sound. What do you mean by patter? Patter here stands for the sound of the rain. When the rain falls on a hard surface, like you can imagine the roof made out of tiles, when it falls on the roof, it gives a sound that is called patter. Patter means here the sound of the rain. So the poet wanted to listen to the pattering sound of the rain. So before that, when the humid shadows, what is humid? Water vapor. You can write down water vapor, or something wet is called humid. Water vapor, shadows hover. What do you mean by hover? Move around. Hover. Move around or hover over the starry spheres. What do you mean by starry? Full of stars. Starry means full of stars. Starry spheres. When you look at the sky, okay, you can see many stars there. So starry sphere stands for the sky. What do you mean by starry sphere together? It is the sky and the melancholy darkness. Melancholy means sad. S-A-D, sad. Write down. Melancholy, sad. Sad darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. Actually, when the clouds changes into water, we call it as rain. So the poet is comparing it as the darkness is crying, and the crying is nothing but rain. The rainy tears comes when the clouds changes into water, it becomes rain. That you know, you have learned science. How does rain occur? You know. The same way the poet is telling, when this sad darkness, when it cries, it turns to be rain. And what a bliss. Bliss means happiness. What a bliss to press the pillow. The poet, I told you already, is in his cottage chamber. Chamber means room. And what was he doing? He was lying on the bed, pressing the pillow, and was listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Is it clear? Done. So next stanza. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start. and 1,000 recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Again, the poet is highlighting the pattering sound of the rain on the roof. And here you can see the tinkle. What do you mean by tinkle? Tinkle, the word meaning is given at the end of the text. You can see on page number 42. Tinkle means short, light, ringing sound. All of you write down. Tinkle is short, light, ringing sound. Where is the sound created? On the shingles. What do you mean by shingle? Again, word meaning is given here. A rectangular wooden tiles used on roofs. You may hanju. In Kannada we call it as hanju. When the rain falls on these shingles, it makes that sound, pattering sound. Has an echo. What do you mean by echo? Repeated sound. All of you write down. Echo means repeated sound. Has an echo in the heart and 1,000 dreamy fancies. What is fancies? Imaginations. Fancies here stands for imagination. 1,000 dreams are coming to the poet, and it starts working out within the mind of the poet. And 1,000 recollections, again thoughts, memories. 1,000 memories, you can say. 1,000 memories weave their air threads into woof, and it is making cloth. Have you seen how a weaver makes the cloth? Many such threads will be woven together, then it becomes cloth. Like that, in the mind of the poet, many such thoughts are coming and is making a woof. Again, word meaning is given at the end of the text. Let us come to the page number 42. You can see what is woof? Weft. That is the threads woven across the loom. You may have seen a weaver. Okay, when you go to a weaver, you can see that how threads are changing into clothes. Like that, here 1,000 thoughts are coming as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. So when the poet is listening to the musical tone of that rain, he gets 1,000 memories of the past. Is it clear? Yeah. Now the last stanza. Now in the memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone to regard the darling dreamers. She left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So in the last stanza, we can see the poet is recalling his mother. Okay, in his memory, who comes? His mother. And years before, actually she is dead and gone. And years before, she would regard, what is regard? Respect the darling dreamers. What do you mean by darling dreamers here? Children. For a mother, children are darling dreamers. Okay, means before here. Okay, all of you, means before she left them till the dawn. What do you mean by dawn? Daybreak. All of you can write. Opposite is dusk. 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 Okay, dawn, morning time, dusk, evening time. Like that. Daybreak. Oh, I feel her fond look on me. Even now the poet recalls the fond look, loving look of her mother. How does she look at the children? He remembers. As I list means listen. List means listen. Short form of listening. As I list to this refrain. What do you mean by refrain? Word meaning is given at the end of the text. A repeated part of a song or a poem. Here, the sound of the rain. Okay. When the rain is creating the music on the roof, that is what the poet calls here as refrain. Any repeated line in a song is called refrain. For example, you have your Navodaya song. Can you recall? हम नवयुग की नई आरती नई भारती this line will be repeated here and there, that is called an example of refrain. So the same way, the rain is repeatedly creating the music on the roof. That is what the poet says, refrain, repeatedly done, which is played upon the shingle, the tile roof, okay, by the patter of the rain. God's kindling. So that is what the poem is about. I hope all of you have understood. Okay children, let us make a review of what we have already learned. The first stanza, the poet is telling about how the rain occurs. When that clouds turning into water, I mean when the darkness gently cries, it turns to be the rain, and when it falls on the village quarter, village chamber roof, it gives a music that is called the pattering of the rain. And the second stanza again, when it falls on the shingles, thousand memories comes to the mind of the poet. And the third one is the third stanza, where the poet gets his mother in his memory, and he remembers her mother's loving look on the children, darling dreamers. Okay, actually she is dead and gone, but still he remembers the mother's beautiful face. Okay, and again he connects his mother and the rain is again making the refrain on the roof. Okay children, these are the explanations about the poem. Now let us come to the poetic devices used in this poem. That is very important. Actually in higher classes they usually ask one or two questions about poetic devices. Let us come to that. Okay, the first one is alliteration. All of you write down the spelling. A-double-L-I. Let me try to write it here. A-double-L-I, alliteration. Alliteration. Okay. I cannot write it here properly. Yeah, alliteration. What I mean by alliteration? Repetition of consonant sound. Okay, let us see the first line. H. Okay, the word humid, H. Is it clear? The humid, H is here. H and hover. So here H and here humid. So these two are the same consonant sound. Okay, h sound. So when these two same consonant sound is repeated, then we call it as alliteration. Is it clear? Let us find out how many alliterations are there in the text. Okay, that way we will learn. And the second line, starry sphere. Yes, yes. Okay, yes and yes is repeated. Then again fifth line, press pillow. P is repeated. That is all alliteration. Then again coming to the second stanza, we will find a few more alliteration. Let us see alliteration here. There, th. Okay, can you see? Weave their threads. Weave their threads. Okay, th. Okay, th sound is repeated. And again the last line of the second stanza, rain. Okay, and roof, r is repeated. Okay, now third stanza. Let us come to third stanza. Here the first line, memory, m. Okay, m, my, and mother. Three m's are repeated. Memory, my, mother. Okay, then the third line of the third stanza, darling dreamer, d repeated. So these are all called rhyming, alliteration. Is it clear? So what is alliteration? Repetition of consonant sound. Once again I repeat the spelling of alliteration. A-double-L-I-T-E-R-A-T-I-O-N, alliteration. So children, that is one of the poetic device. Let us come to the second one, that is transferred epithet. What do you mean by transferred epithet? What is actually epithet? You know, that is a what you call adjective. Adjective used for something. For example, beautiful girl. Girl is the noun, beautiful is the adjective. Okay, clear? Beautiful girl. The same way, but when this adjective is used for not for the person but for some other thing, a mismatch is there, then we call it as transferred epithet. For example, melancholy, actually okay, melancholy, darkness. Darkness is the noun here. Darkness is compared to the melancholy. Okay, actually darkness can never become sad. But who can become sad? People can become sad. But it's a wrong usage of adjective. In that case, we say it as transferred epithet. Okay, all of you can write the spelling. Transferred, TRANSFERRED. Transferred. Okay, transferred epithet. EPITHET. That is transferred epithet. Is it clear? What is transferred epithet? It is not meant for the thing. For example, darkness. Darkness can never be sad. But who can be sad? A person can be sad. Okay. So one more example is here. Transferred epithet. Okay. Dreamy fancies. Second stanza we will find another expression. Dreamy fancies. Fancies means imagination. Imagination cannot be dreamy. A person can be dreamy. Okay. So this is also called an example for transferred epithet. Now the next poetic device is personification. What do you mean by personification? Have you heard of personification? I will write the spelling. Personification. 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 When we give a non-living thing, when we consider a non-living thing as a person, okay, then it is called personification. So what is personification here? The first stanza, third line, melancholy, darkness. Here darkness is not a living thing, but here darkness cries, darkness gently weeps. Okay, darkness is not a living thing, but it can cry. So that's why here the poet has personified darkness or given the value of a person to darkness. That is called personification. Okay. One more example of personification is there in the second stanza. There are 1,000 recollections. Here recollections, again thoughts. Okay, memories. Memories is not living, it's not a living thing, but here recollections weave there, it is taken as a person here. Recollection is taken as a person, and what is the recollection doing here? Weaving their air threads into woof. So many threads are converting into a thread, cloth. Same way, many thoughts are there in the poet's mind, and the thoughts are given the value of a person. Is it clear? So two examples of personification is there. Now the last device used in the poem is rhyming scheme. What do you call it is rhyming. Have you heard of rhyming scheme? Last year you may have come across it. So when a new sound comes, we give it as a. For example, hover. Only the ending word you have to say of a. Okay, hover, sphere, darkness, tears, pillow, bed, patter, overhead. So first sound, r sound, that is a. Okay, then s sound, second one is b, third one again spheres. Okay, B. And third one, darkness, that is C. First one A, second one B, and third one C. Then again B, tears. Okay, then pillow, that is D. Then again D, a new sound, A, B, C. Okay, all of you can write down A, B, C. Okay, then B, same sound is repeated, fierce, tears, fierce, tears, that is why B again. Then D, pillow, D sound. Then E, another new sound. Then F, then E. This is the order. So shall we conclude? A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Is it clear? So the same rhyming scheme is there in all the three stanzas. Shall we check once again? The second stanza, let us see. A. Okay. Then second sound is a new sound, that is heart and start. That means B. This one also B. And this is a new sound, fancies, sees, that is C. Then recollections, that is D, that is a new sound, D. Then E, and again roof also same sound, E. Then in between F. Same rhyming schemes are there in all the three stanzas. Okay, children. Now all of you recite it at home, a loud recitation and also a silent recitation, and write down all the question answers. Already the link, NCERT link is given to you. Practice it, write in your notebook the first page full of vocabulary and remaining all question answers. Okay, clear? That's all. Thank you.